So Stewart just posted a new video, and just like last week, I have absolutely nothing to say about it. But unlike last week, I'm not going to sit on my ass and do nothing. I'm actually going to post something. So Stewart talked about, his experience in the Boy Scouts and his childhood and stuff. So I'm going to talk about my childhood with Yu-Gi-Oh! And basically, more specifically, actually, I'm going to talk about a movie that came out about a year ago now. A little more than that, actually. A lot more than that. A year and a half ago? I don't know. Called Yu-Gi-Oh! Dark Side of Dimensions. It was critically panned. I think it got like around 40% on Rotten Tomatoes or something. Everyone, said, "Oh, terrible writing. Didn't make any sense. This and that," which is true. It's all of those things. But Yu-Gi-Oh's all of those things. It's never had good writing and never made much sense. But I really like this movie, just like I really like Yu-Gi-Oh. I think it's a lot better than any other Yu-Gi-Oh movie that's ever come out. Which is not saying much because they're all shit, but this one's good, and I'll tell you why I think so anyway. It's really fun. It kind of captures the feel of like what Yu-Gi-Oh's always been, just like a bunch of kids doing whatever, but like also juxtaposed with like this world-ending phenomenon shit. This is really funny, in my opinion. I think it's really stupid, but that's kind of what I love about it. But there's one thing that's always bugged me, and it's been a thing for all of Yu-Gi-Oh! Now. We're like 6 reiterations through, and it still bugs me. And that is the case of Yami Yugi, or the Pharaoh, Atem, in the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime, Yugi relied on the spirit of the Pharaoh to like take care of all of his problems. He used him as a crutch because Yugi wasn't a confident person. He had to rely on the Pharaoh to take care of all of his confrontations, all of the shit that he had to go through. And he did that for about 5 seasons. And it's not until the very end that you learn that like Yugi, he's actually been learning from all of this. He's been gaining experience, and he's become a lot like the Pharaoh. He's become a little more confident, a little more able to do things on his own. And that's why that big confrontation, the big 3 episode or something like that, 4 episode duel between Yugi and the Pharaoh is so powerful. It means so much because they both come so far. And Yugi has to win this duel, not for just the Pharaoh, but for himself, to prove that he no longer needs the Pharaoh. And when he finally wins, when he sets the Pharaoh free to go back to his time, and he's really proved himself as a man. It's like the greatest coming of age story in all history, in my opinion. I really like this story. And when Yu-Gi-Oh! GX started running, way back when, and I saw that it was just the Pharaoh again, I thought, okay, now this may have been just naive, but I thought for a second, oh, that's Yugi again. That's Yugi. He's become the Pharaoh. He's grown up. Like, this isn't just the Pharaoh again. This is Yugi, right? Which I thought was like really cool. Like, it shows that Yugi became the Pharaoh. He became the person that he's always looked up to, and I thought that was really inspirational. By the time you get to the end of GX, you find out, oh no, nah, it's just the Pharaoh. The Pharaoh is there. Yugi gets in a duel with Jaden, and then he summons the Pharaoh when he's about to lose, and it's really fucking stupid. Now, in Dark Side of Dimensions, they kind of fix everything I had against Yu-Gi-Oh! After GX and Bonds Beyond Time. Throughout the whole movie, they're stressing how everyone wants the Pharaoh back. Diva, Kaiba, everyone needs him back, right, for some reason or another. But Yugi, keeps stressing the Pharaoh's gone. Like, there's no Pharaoh. He's all that's left. Yugi Moto is all that's left. There is no Atem. And I thought that was really powerful. There's this moment at the end of the movie where Yugi is putting the puzzle back together in front of everyone. He places that last piece onto the puzzle, and there's this moment where like nothing happens. The Pharaoh doesn't come back, and that's the most important scene in the movie, in my opinion, because the Pharaoh really is gone. Yugi beat him in that duel so long ago, and he proved himself, and he's learned to move on for the most part, because we see him in this movie. He's competent. He's fought duels. He's beat opponents that he's never been able to beat before, or that he never would have been able to beat before. before he met the Pharaoh. And he's become an entirely different person as a result of the Pharaoh. But the Pharaoh really is gone. And that scene is so powerful. Now, it causes some big thing with the villain, and there's this second duel that happens where Kaiba and Yugi have to team up against Diva or whatever. And in that duel, I thought, okay, so they've already reinforced that the Pharaoh's gone, right? That's great. That means this duel is literally just going to be Diva versus Yugi and Kaiba. And there's probably going to be a moment where Kaiba gets knocked out, and it's just going to be Yugi, right? And that happens, you know. Kaiba sacrifices himself, does this whole big thing, and Yugi is the only one that's left. And there's this moment where Yugi is on the verge of collapse. You know, he's weak. He doesn't feel like he can go on anymore. And at first I was like, oh no, this is it. This is the problem. This is Pharaoh's gonna come back. But I thought there's no way that could happen. After everything they've set up, you know, Pharaoh's really is gone. This is Yugi's moment to stand up in the face of opposition, you know. He's gonna fight his own battles, he's gonna win his own battles, and not rely on anyone else. But that doesn't happen. The Pharaoh just comes back and he saves the day, and that's it. And that's really disappointing. Mind you, I like this movie, but that was the most bullshit ending I've ever seen. And I think it hurt more because the movie was so good up to that point. It really hammered in exactly what I wanted from this movie. And I don't know. There's just something about really disappointing about the fact that we can't let go of the Pharaoh. Like, I know he's the best character we've ever had in Yu-Gi-Oh! I agree. I mean, I know most people feel that way. But he needs to go. He's gone. Like, we can't keep bringing him back. It's been nearly 20 fucking years since the first episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! Came out. We had plenty of time with Atem, you know, and Yugi beat him and sent him back home. It's this bittersweet moment where we let go of that which we love most, just like Yugi did. And we have to let Yugi grow into his own person. We can't give him this crutch again and again and again in every fucking movie and every TV show that involves Yugi. He can't just keep summoning the Pharaoh. That's just lazy. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't record these at 4 in the fucking morning when I'm tired as fuck and probably don't make any sense. That's all I have to say about this topic.